For the 59 hotel luxury chain, it starts with hiring positive, empathetic workers who are eager to please. Next comes 20 days of training before they even set foot in the hotel. Once they start, however, every employee carries a small card with the company's 20 core values. What happens next separates Ritz-Carlton from the Ritz-Carlton wannabes. Every day, all of the company's 25,000 employees partake in a 15-minute session to discuss and reinforce one of those core values. What Ritz-Carlton has learned is that service doesn't just happen because of a prestigious name, but is delivered by reinforcing values and attitudes on a daily basis. This, in their opinion, is the only way to ensure that values are transferred into actions and behaviors throughout the organization. 212 degrees, attitude. The only thing that stands between a person and what they want in life is the will to try it and the faith to believe it possible. I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, and I've come to realize that the difference in success or failure is not how you look, how you dress, or how you're educated. It's how you think. Early in my career, I was the vice president of sales for a food company. One time I was in Detroit hiring a salesperson for the market. We had lined up 8 appointments for the day, and the morning had been a bust. I looked up, and my 1 o'clock appointment was standing at the door. He was a tall, good-looking guy, and I remember thinking, this could be the one. We talked for about 15 minutes, and I asked a question I always ask. What will you be doing 5 years from now? I'll never forget his answer. He said, Mr. Anderson, the way these appointments have been going, I might still be interviewing. Well, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear. We talked for a few more minutes, and I excused him. Then I looked up, and my 2 o'clock was there, a short guy with a wrinkled sport coat. He walked over and gave me a confident handshake, and a few minutes later I asked the same question. What are you going to be doing 5 years from now? He looked me right in the eye and said, Mr. Anderson, I'm going to be working for you. This job fits my skills and my needs to a T. I don't just think, I know I can sell your product in this market. And furthermore, if you don't like my performance after 30 days, you don't owe me a cent. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. He had just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. But the offer had nothing to do with the money I might save. It had everything to do with his unwavering passion and belief he could do it. Within a year, Bob was the #1 salesperson in the company. The power of a 212-degree attitude can be unstoppable. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. 212 degrees, leadership. On March 18, 2003, I turned on Good Morning America while eating breakfast. Charles Gibson was interviewing General Earl Hailston, the commanding general of Marine Forces Central Command. The general was waiting with his troops just a few miles off the border of Iraq, waiting to go to war. General Hailston is the only general in the armed forces who had enlisted and came up through the ranks, and as he spoke, I was impressed by his humble and caring attitude. Toward the end of the interview, his answer to a question touched me deeply. When Charles asked him if he had any hobbies outside his work, the general said, Yes, I love photography, especially taking photos of my men. He shared that while he had been waiting for the past few days, he would take photos of his men, and at night he would email the photos with a brief note to their mothers back in the USA. Charles asked if he could see a sample of a letter, and the general walked into his tent, turned on his computer. Dear Mrs. Johnson, I thought you might enjoy seeing this picture of your son. He is doing great. I also wanted you to know that you did a wonderful job of raising him. You must be very proud. I can certainly tell you that I'm honored to serve with him in the U.S. Marines. General Earl Hailston. Wow! I had goosebumps as I watched. I then watched Charles randomly interview a few of General Hailston's men. You could feel the genuine love and respect that they all had for their leader. You may have heard the quote, "They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care."